Homework 29 leaves off where homework 28 was doing, where we're finding the solutions. This again is going to be in our interval between 0 and 2 pi. This one happens to be when we have our squared terms. So again, you are going to want to have that table handy that has all of your angles for reference so that you can go back and check and see where your tangent is equal to some value or whatever it may be. So you want to have that table handy on homework 28 and on homework 29. So again, we're going to solve these, and so I'm going to have 3 tangent squared of x equals 1. I'm going to divide by 3, so tangent squared of x equals 1/3. And so since I have tangent squared, in order to solve that, I have to take the square root. And when I do the square root, I do plus or minus. So the tangent of x is going to equal plus or minus the square root of 1/3. Of course, I want to rationalize that. And so I'm going to multiply by the 3. And so I'm going to have plus or minus square root of 3 over 9, the square root of 9, which is 3. I should probably write that up. 3/9. And so I have the square root of 3 over the square root of 9, which is just a plain old 3. So I'm going to look up and I'm going to find all the ones with positive square root of 3 over 3 and all the ones with negative square root of 3 over 3. So I'm going to end up having 4 answers most likely. So again, I'm just going to go back to my handy dandy table. Which I left in my other packet of notes. So if I grab my handy dandy table from my other packet of notes, now I've got my handy dandy table. So under my tangent column, square root of 3 over 3 is at pi over 6. If I keep going down, negative square root of negative square root of 3 over 3 is at 5 pi over 6. If I keep going down, I keep moving to cosine instead of tangent, positive square root of 3 over 3 is at 7 pi over 6. And if I keep going down, I have a negative square root of 3 over 3 at 11 pi over 6. So again, I should have 4 answers, 2 that were at square root of 3 over 3, and 2 that are at negative square root of 3 over 3. You don't have to have these in order. If you have them in a different order, that's fine. Number 2, we are doing cosecant squared of x, same thing. First of all, adding my 4. So 3 cosecant squared of x equals 4. I'm going to divide by my 3. So cosecant squared of x equals 4/3. I then have to do the square root. And if I rationalize that, the cosecant of x, I still can't write, cosecant of x is going to equal. Now when I simplify this, the square root of 4 is 2, so I'm going to get 2 square root of 3 on top. On the bottom we have the square root of 9, which is 3. And of course, since we did the square root, we have to do plus or minus. So we're going to look up plus or minus 2 square root of 3 over 3. Under my cosecant column, so 2 square root of 3 over 3 is at pi over 3. Under my cosecant column, I also have 2 pi over 3. Then I have a negative 2 square root of 3 over 3 at 4 pi over 3. And if I look under my cosecant column, negative 2 square root of 3 over 3 is at 5 pi over 3. So I have pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3 for my 4 answers. Number 3 then, solving that one, of course we're going to add our 1. 2 cosine squared of x equals 1. So cosine squared of x would equal 1/2. Doing my square root, multiplying by the 2, I'm going to get the cosine of x equals plus or minus. On the top I'm going to have square root of 2. On the bottom I'd have square root of 4, which is just 2. So I'm going to look up plus or minus square root of 2 over 2. So underneath the cosine column, cosine square root of 2 over 2 is at pi over 4. Then I have a negative square root of 2 over 2 at 3 pi over 4. Then I have negative square root of 2 over 2 at 5 pi over 4. And then in quadrant 4, I have square root of 2 over 2 at 7 pi over 4. So I have pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. So just solving those and remembering when I do the square root, I have plus or minus my answer. So I end up with 4 answers usually, 2 for each of them.